Hi guys, welcome to 365 Days, 365 Concepts. The concept that we're going to understand today is convertible preference shares, right? For that, we'll have to understand what do you mean by preference shares. Let's say, for example, a company has issued 10% preference shares with a face value of rupees 100. Now, what happens with this? There are two types of equity, guys. Sir, what are those two types of equity? First is preference shares, and the other one is common equity. Sir, preference shares is a type of equity, but essentially it is not equity. Just whatever I have said, listen to this very carefully. Sir, why do you say that? Because preference shares, let's say for example, these are 10% preference shares with a face value of rupees 100, they will get a fixed dividend of rupees 10 because it is 10% preference shares. That means, sir, they will get a dividend of rupees 10. Sir, it sounds more like interest because a company gets interest, a company has to pay interest at a fixed rate. Sir, a preference dividend sounds something like that only. But sir, interest is a contractual obligation which has to be paid irrespective of wherever the company is. But sir, our preference dividend is not compulsory. It can be paid if the company has enough profits to pay preference dividend. Okay, sir, we get that. So, sir, are you telling us that the dividend is fixed, but sir, the payment of dividend, sir, it is not necessary that that will happen? Yes, absolutely. That's the first thing. Second, sir, preference shares, you don't get any voting rights with preference shares. Like with common equity shareholders, they get preference, they get what do you call? They get voting rights, which is like, voting for board of directors, whether this person should be appointed or not, whether dividend should be given or not, all of these things. Preference shareholders do not get this right. Okay, sir. So we understand what preference shares is. Then what are convertible preference shares, sir? Convertible preference shares are those shares which can be converted into equity shares at a predetermined ratio. Let's say a company has issued 10% preference shares with a face value of rupees 100, which can be converted into 10 common equity shares. That means tomorrow, at the option of the convertible preference shareholder, the one who owns the preference shares, the one who has bought the preference shares of the company, which are convertible, at his option, he can convert one share into 10 equity shares, which are common equity shares. And this ratio is going to be what, sir? Predetermined. When, sir? At the time of issue itself. Sir, what are the advantages of this, sir? Generally, you have more dividend on preference shares than the common dividend. Sir, why, sir? Because preference shareholders are going to be paid fixed irrespective. But, sir, common equity shareholders, sir, they will be paid dividend if the company wishes to do so. And generally, company wishes to pay dividend at the, when the company gets more mature, when the company has reached a certain stage, when it has spent enough time in the market and all of those things. So usually you will see this. It's not necessary, but this happens. Anyway, you'll not see a lot of public company using this as well. The entire point of taking this concept was generally it is used by private company, and I'll come to that point as well. Okay, sir. Sir, profits can be shared by conversion into common stock. Okay. Sir, the amount of dividend is not fixed. That means tomorrow, in common equity shareholders, sir, the amount of dividend is not fixed, sir. Tomorrow, if the company wishes, and it has a lot of money at its disposal, a lot of profit, it can just give out dividends. Okay, sir, we get that. But sir, will preference shareholders get that? No, sir. But convertible preference shareholders can get that. Sir, how? They can convert their convertible preference shares into what, sir? Common equity shares. Simple as that. And sir, conversion option rises in value with increase in stock prices. Sir, if the company's common stock, which is common equity shares, sir, if they're rising in prices, obviously, sir, preference shares, which are convertible preference shares, the option that comes along with it, the option to convert into common equity shareholders, that will rise in what? Value. Sir, naturally, sir, we get this. Not a rocket science. Okay, sir. Sir, there is a lesser risk here as compared to common stock. Sir, why, sir? Why is there a lesser risk? Sir, you get fixed dividend. That's the first thing. Okay, sir. Sir, tomorrow if the company is doing very well and they have a lot of profits and you have a little bit of a FOMO, or that common equity shareholders will get those profits, you will not. What will you do? Sir, you will convert. So, sir, you are getting a fixed dividend as well. You are getting the upside as well. Oh, sir, it's the best of the both worlds. That is what convertible preference shares is, and that's why they are less risky compared to common stock. Sir, now the entire point of taking this concept was, sir, why generally convertible preference shares is used. It is used for risky ventures venture capital firms and PE firms. Sir, venture capital and PE firms basically, sir, companies that are private. Sir, now when venture capital, that means a company which is very early in their early stages. Now there's a lot of risk with these companies. Okay, sir, we get it. So, sir, will it be difficult for them to raise money by issuing common equity shares? Yes, sir, very difficult, sir, because people will not trust quickly. People will say that it's a very risky investment, we cannot. Okay, then you pitch them convertible preference shares. You let them know, listen, you give me money, you take convertible preference shares because you are going to have best of both the worlds. You get fixed dividend, and tomorrow, if my company is doing very well, you can get the upside. And if my company is doing very well, you will get the dividends, or probably not even the dividends, but you will at least be more safe, right? Because a common equity shareholders have residual claim, but preference shares have a superior claim as opposed to common equity shareholders. Okay, sir. Same goes for PE firms, right? The funds that are private equity firms, which are similarly a little better than the early stages, but not yet established, right? So that was your concept of convertible preference shares. I hope you guys have understood everything. If there are any doubts, feel free to ask in the comment section. I'll see you guys another day with another concept. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.